NFL draft busts come in all different forms. Whether these players were plagued by injury, didn't have the skill to translate to the NFL level, or had troubles off the field, they all failed to live up to the hype in some way. Every team has suffered the effects of a draft bust over the past decade or so. With that said, let's take a look at some of the biggest NFL draft busts over the last decade. We'll start in 2013 with the big bust being number 2 overall Luke Joeckel, offensive tackle drafted by the Jaguars, number 3 overall Dion Jordan, who's a defensive end drafted by the Dolphins, and number 8 overall Tavon Austin, who is a wide receiver drafted by the Rams. Let's start with Joeckel. He entered the league as a standout All-American left tackle, but the Jaguars started his career at right tackle, which was the first of many mistakes. He never found his footing and stepped away from football in 2017. Now on to Dion Jordan. The Raiders aren't known for making many right decisions when it comes to making first-round picks, but they got it right when they traded their first-round pick to the Dolphins, who received minimal results from Dion Jordan during his first 2 seasons. Jordan was suspended for the entire 2015 season due to failed drug testing, and then stud right tackle Lane Johnson went after Joeckel and Jordan with the number 4 pick to the Eagles. Tavon Austin. The Rams had Tyreek Hill-like plans for the versatile Tavon Austin, who averaged only 38.8 receptions and 330 receiving yards per season during 5 seasons with the Rams. Talk about a bust. The 2014 NFL draft had 3 major misses, and it pains me to say this first one, but it is a bust by all definitions. The number 3 overall pick, Blake Bortles, drafted by the Jaguars, number 8 overall Justin Gilbert, a cornerback drafted by the Browns, and then obviously number 22 overall Johnny Manziel, a quarterback drafted by the Browns. So with Blake Bortles, it does pain me to say this because he did make a run to the AFC title game during 2017, but Bortles was the first quarterback taken in 2014, and he struggled with turnovers and lost at least 10 games during his first 3 seasons in the NFL. He helped the Jaguars reach the AFC title game during the 2017 season, but that was largely because of a ferocious Jaguars defense. He hasn't played a game since 2019. Now for Justin Gilbert, he played just 2 seasons with the Browns and was out of the league by his 3rd season, making only 3 career starts. Gilbert was drafted a few spots ahead of Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham Jr., and Taylor Lewan. Now for Johnny Manziel, this one's short and sweet. He texted the Browns to pick him, but his draft day wait might have lasted longer than his 2-year NFL career. The 2015 NFL draft, the 3 major misses were number 1 overall Jameis Winston, quarterback drafted by the Buccaneers, number 2 overall Marcus Mariota, quarterback drafted by the Tennessee Titans, and number 7 overall Kevin White, wide receiver drafted by the Chicago Bears. Now don't get me wrong, Jameis Winston had some fun moments with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he spent the past 3 years as a backup in New Orleans. He's flashed at times as a downfield thrower early in his career, but his aggressive ways led to several mistakes, paving the way for Tom Brady to take his job in Tampa Bay. Now for Marcus Mariota, he returned to number 2 on the depth chart with the Eagles because he fumbled his 2nd starting opportunity with the Falcons last season. Prior to that, he was a backup on the Las Vegas Raiders, and prior to that, he was a struggling starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Now for Kevin White, drafted number 7 overall by the Chicago Bears, and listen, White could be one of the biggest busts in NFL history. He missed his entire rookie season due to injuries and recorded only 25 catches in 4 seasons with the Bears. Yes, number 7 overall, a first-round draft pick, a wide receiver who's recorded only 25 catches in his 4 seasons with the team that drafted him. Wild. The 2016 NFL draft had 3 major misses as well, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this in the comments, but it is a bust by all definitions. Number 2 overall Carson Wentz, drafted by the Eagles, number 15 overall Corey Coleman, wide receiver drafted by the Browns, and number 26 overall Paxton Lynch, quarterback drafted by the Denver Broncos. Okay, back to Wentz. He had a promising start to his career, but he really hasn't been the same since a season-ending injury in 2017, which led to the memorable comeback story of Nick Foles, who guided the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Wentz later lost his job to Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia before failing in Indianapolis and Washington as a starter. Corey Coleman, he once demanded a trade because he wasn't getting enough first-team reps with the Browns. He was then never heard from again after bouncing around with 5 NFL teams. Paxton Lynch, he's 6'7" and was many of the tall quarterbacks that the Denver Broncos seemed to be obsessed with during John Elway's era running that front office, and he didn't really pan out like many of the tall guys before him. The 2017 NFL draft, the 3 major misses were number 2 overall Mitch Trubisky to the Bears, number 3 overall Solomon Thomas to the 49ers, and number 9 overall John Ross to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now for Mitch Trubisky, he's made some plays with his legs and had some somewhat exciting moments as the Chicago Bears starter, starter, but his accuracy issues forced him into becoming a career backup QB. Now for Solomon Thomas, and perhaps this made the Bears feel a little bit better about taking Trubisky because the 49ers used their pick to select Thomas, who has started only 5 games since 2019. John Ross, his track-like speed didn't impress then Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis, and he saw only 2 targets as a rookie. His production picked up the following 2 seasons, but he never really developed into a reliable starter, and if you're drafted number 9 overall, that's kind of the bare minimum. 2018, 2 major busts from this year. Number 3 overall, Sam Darnold, quarterback drafted by the New York Jets. Number 10 overall, Josh Rosen, quarterback drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. Now for Sam Darnold, he endured plenty of losing with the Jets, and it didn't help. He was slow to react to defenses. He lasted only 3 seasons in New York before 2 rocky seasons with the Panthers, and I will admit he had a few bright spots with the Panthers, but I think that was more so due to the defense and run game. Josh Rosen had a shorter stint in Arizona because the Cardinals landed the number 1 overall pick after his rocky rookie season, and they selected Kyler Murray in 2019 and traded Rosen to Miami, where he started as a NFL journeyman. Obviously, if you're the number 10 overall pick, you don't really want to be an NFL journeyman. 2019 NFL draft, the major misses were number 4 overall pick Clelin Ferrell to the Raiders, number 10 overall pick Devin Bush to the Steelers. Now for Ferrell, he disappointed as the first pick of the Mike Mayock, John Gruden era with the Raiders. The Clemson product struggled to generate pressure as a starter and later became a rotational player. Picking Ferrell that high received plenty of criticism on draft night, and now Ferrell will get a fresh start with the 49ers. Now for Devin Bush, he's another top 10 pick who has failed to make an impact as a starter. Again, I'm probably repeating myself like a broken record here, but if you're a top 10 pick and you can't even make a decent impact at a starting level, you're pretty much a bust. Now the Steelers declined his 5th-year option, and now he's playing for the Seahawks. The 2020 NFL draft, 2 misses come to mind. Number 3 overall, Jeff Okudah, drafted by the Detroit Lions, and number 8 overall, Isaiah Simmons, drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. Okudah has had a slow start to his career due to injuries and lackluster performances on the field, and with the Lions signing cornerbacks in free agency, they traded Okudah to the Falcons for a 2023 5th-round pick. Isaiah Simmons is somebody I kind of put on this list with a little bit regret because I do believe that he could be a good NFL player in the right system. He's kind of viewed as an intriguing Swiss Army knife, but he struggled to find comfort at one position. Perhaps eventually Simmons will develop into a versatile defender, but it doesn't help Arizona has a new head coach who might prefer playing a linebacker he drafted. 2021 NFL draft, the 2 major misses that come to mind so far is number 2 overall Zach Wilson to the New York Jets and number 3 overall Trey Lance to the San Francisco 49ers. Now hear me out, Zach Wilson I think is a little less egregious to make that claim than Trey Lance, but Wilson was thrusted into the starting role. He struggled mightily and rarely corrected his mistakes. Now the Jets are on the verge of making Aaron Rodgers their 2023 starter, leaving Zach Wilson in limbo. Now for Trey Lance, the 49ers wanted Lance to sit and learn from Jimmy Garoppolo, or simply because he wasn't ready to play. Lance got his shot last season but suffered a season-ending ankle injury in week 2. Brock Purdy, however, became the 49ers' new QB1 after impressing in his 8 starts last season, which has also left Lance in limbo. But Lance will likely get one more shot to prove the doubters wrong, with Purdy possibly missing the start of the season after undergoing surgery on his throwing arm. The 2022 NFL draft, really only one major miss comes to mind here, and it's because of where this player was taken. Number 1 overall, Trayvon Walker, taken by the Jaguars. Now, this is way too soon to consider someone a draft miss after 1 season, but Walker had one of the most disappointing rookie seasons for number 1 overall pick in recent memory. There wasn't a surefire number 1 prospect last year, which could explain why the Jaguars took a chance on Walker's upside, despite his limited production with a stacked Georgia defense. Guys, with all of these videos, I probably missed somebody because there is so many people to choose from, so let me know in the comments down below who I missed, or if you think one of these guys on this list isn't a bust and why. Also, if you could like and subscribe, it's totally free and helps the channel grow. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks guys, later.